This is QCC alum David Russell along with Joe Massey. The Queensboro alumni game about to begin, and it's good to have you back, Joe Massey.
Hey, thanks. It's good to be back. Hey, it's been a long time since they threw the basketball up in the air.
Last game we called together was 8 months ago already. The women's playoff game here against Nassau.
Well, we have a bunch of young old-timers out there today, don't we?
A lot of good names also. And Tom Sinnixon coaching the black team. Nice to see. When was the last time you saw Tom Sinnixon? It's been some years, right? And a quick basket. Keith Keough makes it 2-0 red team.
It was just after the 2007 season.
Three-pointer at the other end, no good. Shot was taken by Michael Bravo.
I'll put a time frame on that. It was just after the 2007 season. I was going to do a York basketball game the next couple of days. And Tom said, I said, how do you get in touch with Jeffrey Boone? Because I want him to do the game with me. So Tom said, get Jeff. He'll be good on the game with you. Jeff, of course, went on to be a great player in the CUNY. He's not here today, though.
Bravo, the offensive rebound. Low baseline shot is no good. As the red team leads 5-0, and Bravo misses, got his own rebound. Counted on the foul. Bravo makes it 5-2.
Michael Bravo, very sturdy man out there. Some of these guys are now men, full-fledged men here. He's out there with Taylor. I think that's Murray Taylor. And their running mate is James McDaniel, who I remember. And Anthony Boyd. Some of the younger fellas.
Nice group of former Queensboro players as the ball's turned over. Mike, I was wondering, who would you have on an all-Queensboro team if you had to make a top 5?
Well, one of them's in the building, Craig Taylor. You'd have to put him somewhere close to that. Anyway, I can't say that right off the cuff, David, because I'm going to leave somebody out, of course.
Tom Sinnixon calls timeout at 6-5.
Hey, these guys can still shoot the ball. I was talking to Horatio Pichardo, who's on the red team, big fella, 18, before the festivities today, and we were going down some of those players, and he brought up Dror Gal, who was with Jerry Powell's early teams, and then Tom Sinnixon's teams. I think he played for Tom, basically.
Yeah, Dror Gal, now you mentioned he was the 98 postseason MVP when Queensboro won the 5th title in a row, as a foul is called.
And then I covered him over at Queens College, to be honest with you, because I want to put as much information in here as I can. This is not a Joe Massey commercial here, but no, I did cover him at Queens College. Oh, that's a nice steal.
Nice play by Taylor, and the dunk.
Taylor showing he still can get in there, jut in there, and steal the ball. So the guests are leading at 9-5.
Nice reverse dunk. I don't expect there to be a ton of defense in this game. I think we're going to see a lot of nice layups.
Nice work. Good penetration on that.
Well, there's some defense. The other end, and a foul is called.
Showing they can come back and steal the ball. That's Keith Keough. And he was fouled. I remember Keith as a younger man. Covered some of his ball games.
It's the first one.
Who is my favorite team, David? I've been covering Queensboro since about 97. I covered them in a 96 championship game, but I didn't cover them for real till 97. I guess that one with Dror Gowell and Jamal Steele and Jerry Coppage. That was my favorite team because it was the year I came back to CUNY, and it was my introduction to the whole program. And I have to say, Coach Sinnickson was as nice a fella as you'd ever want to meet during those years.
It was a stretch from 94 to 98 when Queensboro won 5 titles in a row for the class of CUNY. They won 2 of those title games against City Tech, which doesn't even have a team anymore, and the other 3 they won against BMCC.
I'm sorry to cut you off. There's a good pass. Nice look. That pass was made by number 7, Carl Amengo, who is now coaching here at Queens, and he didn't forget how to pass the ball, I'll tell you that.
Deshaun Banks was the one who finished. You were saying about City Tech and BMCC.
You know, if Carl can get his players to pass the ball like that, they'd be in business right here. Not to say that he hasn't worked on it, but he was a top ball player down at Baruch also, Carl. Had some really tough encounters with him as a announcer for York. I announced him for a year, and then he went over and he became the enemy. That's tough, David. You know, when you're used to the guy, and then he turns around, he puts on another uniform for another borough. Of course, Baruch plays down in Manhattan, and that's what's great about the CUNY. You're going to see these kids around as you go around.
See a lot of people go from Queensboro to Hunter.
Yeah.
Or Baruch or York. And there's Carl Amengo with the ball now.
Ow.
Fired that pass into the wall.
Really had a lot of mustard on that one.
11-11, 16:38 to go in the first half.
By the way, don't eat anything. We'll have a couple of Frankfurters later.
Little inside joke.
That's an inside joke, yes. Did you miss anything when I was talking about
No, I didn't. Red team looking to take back the lead. And there's Pichardo, who you spoke to.
Hey, they're passing the ball, aren't they?
Yeah, here's Keough. Lost his footing and lost the ball, but he was fouled.
You know, Queensboro, they had that terrific stretch, as we said, and then they had some lean years, a couple of lean years there. And then they got back into championship mode again under Sinnickson.
Right, 94-98, they won 5, as I said. Then their next title came in 03. And here's a chance for the black team. And the basket is no good.
Good hustle by Keough, getting that rebound back there.
His shot is blocked. And back Taylor puts it back outside.
Yeah, I'm sure Craig was saying, I never had those blocked when I played here.
And there's the current coach making it 13-11.
And there you go. Giddy up Carl Amengo.
And he'll get to see his... I wonder if he's going to be playing in the next game or coaching his current team.
Oh, I'm sure he's happy to be out there playing because I'm sure he wanted some of his players here say, come on, I'll show you how to play the game.
Tied again, this time at 13.
In fact, Tom told me he wanted to play today, but he wasn't in the proper shape. He said he's going to try to play next year. Sinnickson.
So the scoreboard has the red team up 14-13. 5 minutes in.
Anwar Bowling. He was on one of those teams that wasn't that good, David. You were here, Bowling.
There are a few teams that struggled. There's Taylor.
Yeah.
And the 1999 CUNY Player of the Year makes it 16-13. Greg Taylor with the basket and a timeout called. About 5.5 minutes into the game, red team up 16-13.
The last championship game Tom participated in, though, I know he wants that one back in his career ledger because he lost a very tough one to Manhattan, down in Manhattan.
I think there's one you're leaving out because Queensboro, when
It was at
Hassan beat him.
Queensboro, yeah.
But there was another one 2 years later. Hassan Duncombe's Wave team beat Queensboro by 25.
Okay, but he lost a very tough one
Yeah.
in Manhattan at Kingsborough, I think.
That was, yes, in 07.
Yeah, and it was a terrific ball game. And whoa!
Nice
You see,
putback.
the little more of a veteran guy, he's going to be there to clean up that rebound.
Mozzie Brada.
Brada.
That was the Tony Davis-led BMCC team that you were thinking of, and a nice steal. And goes all the way at 17-16 black team.
Boy, they're really playing the passing lanes well on defense, these guys.
Nice play by Dabney Hunt.
Neither one of these teams is giving anything away.
There's Taylor. The long two is good.
Yes!
Craig Taylor puts the red team up 18-17. And a block by Taylor.
Yeah, he makes himself a factor on the defensive end.
A nice pass to Santos, who lays it in. Taylor doing it all. It's 2017. The pass just made it to Santos. Perfect spot. It's a three-pointer. It's an air ball.
Craig Taylor, 1999 tournament MVP.
Nice play by Robert Alexis, who was the 2007 CUNY Player of the Year.
Wait a minute. Yes, Player of the Year, not tournament MVP. Craig Taylor, 1999 Player of the Year.
And 99 was the year that Queensboro's string of titles came to a close. They lost the title game by 2 points.
To a good Manhattan team, yeah.
And they lost that down at BMCC.
To Gene Carroll. Whoop. Well, a little faulty on the exchange there, but they got it there, and Hunt puts it in.
They'll take it. It's 22-19 now.
Boy, they're filling up the basket, these teams. I think they wanted to play this game. Got a nice day to play it, too. You know, a lot of spring in the legs. A nice weather day.
Nice pass by Bo. And Mike Edwards finishes. It's 22-21 red team.
Looked like Walt Frazier on that layup. That's the way Walt used to lay them in.
It's a nice pass by Jarek Bowe, who was on the 10-11 team here when I first started announcing. Actually, the first game I announced here at Queensboro was an alumni game.
Really?
It was 4 years and 2 days ago.
Wow.
Look that up.
4 years and 2 days ago?
Yeah, I don't know where the time
You're
went.
that old, huh?
I am. How old does that make
You're
you?
getting up there. I'm a little younger than you. I have all my bases covered, Dave.
How long have you been in the CUNY anyway?
Technically, 18 years.
Okay.
But I go back longer with it.
You had been early in the 70s, right? And
I did Lehman's championship season in 1983 as a college kid. Yeah.
Nice layup.
Oh, they are running, the black team. They are running.
Dabney Hunt gives the black team a 23-22 lead with the very bright shorts.
The black-colored jerseys and tops, all black uniforms.
Realize everybody's got different shorts, though, and there's Hunt.
Well, one player doesn't. And he just took the ball up court now and made a tough pass, and they couldn't retrieve it. Hunt on the exchange there.
And Jarek Bowe lost it. He's laughing about it.
23-22. You can't get any closer.
And now 24-23. Red team back up.
Hey, you know who that was? Robert Alexis. This kid could play. He could play, Alexis.
And traveling is called on Santos.
I think the two best players on the court tonight so far, David, are Alexis and Taylor in terms of what they did here at Queensboro, because Alexis was the 207 Player of the Year He was all rigged up to go to Baruch, another guy going to Baruch, and he hurt his knee. And he never became a factor and never played there.
There's another player on the roster today for the black team, Kevin Paradise, who was the 2005 CUNY Rookie of the Year.
Kevin Paradise.
Wonder, we spoke about an all-Queensboro team. How about a 5 for an all-CUNY team at the JUCO level in the years you've been here? I think that would begin and end with Pierre Narcisse.
Say that again, Pierre Narcisse?
Yeah, that would the only two-time player of the year.
I still insist. I don't want to downgrade anybody from Queensboro, but I think the two best players I've seen play in the CUNY Community College ranks are Narcisse, and then there was another guy from Kingsboro one year who just ripped everybody up.
Nice play underneath, and Pichardo will go to the line.
And we'll see free throws. But, don't get me wrong. Queensboro's a winning program. That Kingsboro team with Narcisse didn't win anything. That's the only problem. But he was a terrific talent. That's quite obvious when you watched him on the court. His size, what he was able to do. Team shut him down, though, in the tournament.
The year before and after Narcisse left Kingsboro, they still won Player of the Year. Dustin Yates in 03.
Yep. Yes.
I think passed away a year or two ago. And Benoit.
That's, in fact, when they started winning the tournaments.
And Benoit in 06. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
Well before my time.
Benoit, yes.
26-25 red team. 9 minutes in. And all the way to the basket. It's Mike Edwards. 27-26.
It was a player from Queensboro that was a terrific defensive player. Let's watch this. Oh, tough exchange there. A little too much fanciness being displayed, but pass a little out of the reach by, in fact, number 4, Jarrett Bowe. Remember Jarrett?
Yeah.
He was here a couple of years ago.
In the Larry Dantzler teams.
I didn't even realize that was Alexis, though, because he was a thin fellow when he played. Now he's stocky now. He's well-built.
There'll be 2 more free throws for the red team. Larry Dantzler had a lot of good guards here. There's Jarrett Bowe. Yeah. Remember Taquan Washington?
Yeah. I liked him.
I liked him. He was a Kingsboro for a year.
Brooklyn player, yeah.
Alan Smith, another Kingsboro transfer. It was Anthony Brown.
And he had that big center for 1 year, Steely. He's not here today, but he did damage in this conference for 1 year. I think he led Queensboro to the final.
That was really good for Queensboro, Stephon Medard.
Yeah, Medard. I liked his name, too. I told you that was like a Showtime name, Stephon Medard.
He had one of the best halves of basketball that I've seen. It was actually a game you were calling with Sean for QPTV, and I was on the other side.
Yes.
And he had 20 points in the first half against Kingsboro.
Medard, yes.
Finished with 22. I think the best performance by any player I've seen in the game was the one we were at last year against Suffolk, when their guy Chris Melander had 37 points.
Oh, he was terrific, wasn't he?
In the 4 seasons I've been announcing, that's the best single game performance I saw.
Let me get that Kingsboro fella for you, and I'll talk about just a little bit about
could have been Matzikov. Estabny Hunt hits a 3. Hunt has been on.
These guys are really going at it.
30-28 black team.
Here, Community College.
If you go back a while, you have Kenny Stevens and James
Witt. He had
Witt.
to be Player of the Year, too, because he had just a tremendous year. Well, I know they had Imbert Prosper. He was very good, but this guy... In fact, he didn't win Player of the Year, which I'm surprised he didn't. But he was regular season champs, and then we got to go to the community college tournament and tell you who he was the MVP of that. Eric Caston. He was sensational for Queensboro in 2002. He just tore up the tournament.
Air ball on the free throw by Mike Edwards.
Manhattan had 2 or 3 guys on him, and they could not stop him. He was that good inside. And I talked to his coach after the game. I said, boy, you guys, you did it the opposite way. Your inside game opened up your outside game. He says, that's the way we've been doing it all year. We just get the ball into him, and they just can't stop him, and then we shoot from outside, and we blow them out.
Timeout called by the red team.
They were playing the Borough of Manhattan that night, by the way. Go ahead. I'm sorry, David.
No, 9:28 to go, 30-28. Knows another good Queensboro player we left out. Him and his brother, the Essen wounds.
Who was that?
Leo and Marcel.
Oh, yes.
Leo played at Queensboro.
Leo played very well here. Never made it. I thought he was going to play at York College. Never played there. Leo was a good scorer here. One of my favorite players here, though, was Jerry Coppage, the way he played. He was kind of like a Bernard King power guy.
And you don't just throw up Bernard King's name for comparisons.
Yeah, there's nobody like Bernard King. He just played that type of low post game. That's the first year I covered Queensboro, by the way. I didn't know anything about Queensboro. And the immortal Joe Salamino told me all about Queensboro.
Former PA guy. Said jumper is no good. Then he got his own rebound, missed again, and tapped it. Black team still has the ball. Little jumper from the free throw line is no good. Bravo. Counted on the foul. Nice play by Michael Bravo. He
great play.
Brought up Gary Coppage. He was the 1997 CUNY Player of the Year. Queensboro had a nice streak there. It was Sam Lopez, Kasim Palmer, Jerry Coppage, Gamal Steele, and Craig Taylor. And then Chabron Bridges from BMCC broke up that string.
I mean, they were all great ball players. Gal, Drew Gal, who we spoke about, he was a dynamite player here on this community college level. But when he got to Queens, he didn't pan out there. He didn't play like he played here. It happens, but on this level and playing with this team, he was super.
You know who else was a player of the year for BMCC in '94? Marvin Patterson, who was the Queensboro assistant coach for about half a year under Larry Dantzler. As that three-pointer is good. Deep three by Anwar Bowling. Tom Sinnixon.
Anwar likes that outside shot.
35-30. You were saying it's fine not to see Tom Sinnixon in a suit. That's what you had to get used to.
Oh, very well attired at all times. Very neat. Lawyer, of course, in his everyday profession.
The lawyer for former Nick Anthony Mason.
And, just top of the line, Tom. I guess you couldn't have a better coach career than he had here.
And I don't think Anthony Mason could have had a better lawyer.
And a lot of guys talk about that. You coached in the community college, coached at Division III, you coached here. And guys say, I couldn't have had a better coaching career no matter where I went. And I enjoyed it immensely, and it was just a great opportunity to coach great young men. As Pete Marchitello comes in to give us a little bit of help up here, as he does from time to time. I didn't realize Pete was here since he may not want me to say this. He might want to keep a lid on his age, but Pete has been here since '97 as a coach. Not as athletic director.
The softball coach.
There he
here
goes
at
into the Wild Blue Yonder, by the way.
But wait, to get back to the Sinnixon Mason point, Mason actually was inducted into the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame, and he thanked Sinnixon in his speech.
He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, thanking him for all the times he kept him out of jail.
I really liked Anthony Mason.
He was a good Nick, and his son played for St. John's.
If I might relate a story to you why I like Anthony Mason, I used to do pregame shows on the MSG Nick game. And here go the black team again with a pick-off, and they get up court.
Layup makes it 39-32.
That was paradise. The whole play was paradise, by the way. Taylor could not get it there.
Black team running again. The long two is good. Nice shot by Bowling. It's 41-32.
They gave him a 3 on that?
No, deep 2.
No, I thought he just stepped in the 2 line.
And Keough answers at the other end.
Did
like
Pete,
end-to-end
did Pete
basketball,
tell you who 41 was?
40, I don't have a 41.
Oh, that was one who hit that.
Yeah, Chris
Okay.
Brown is number 8
That
for the
was
red
Bowling.
team now. That's the change.
Who was that, 18? Yeah.
No, number 8 for the red team is Chris Brown.
Oh, okay. Chris Brown we know pretty well.
Yeah. A recent old-timer.
Recent vintage. It's like you open up the Queensboro vault and you get recent vintage, you know? There have just been so many terrific players here. It's once again, you know, when we speak, people might hear this and say, well, it's not Division I ball, it's not. But when you're talking about a program, we're talking about a program here. And the fellas have come in groves here and done wonderful things. So that's what we're talking about, you know? Mm-hmm. And by the way, some of these guys do go on and play Division II, and some of them go to a lower Division I if they get an opportunity.
Buckley Anthony Early, who started off at Sullivan County Community College in Region 15, now he's on the Knicks.
How do you like that?
He came in here a few years ago, beat Queensboro by 30. A lot of teams beat Queensboro by 30 that year. And
Well,
Sullivan
guys
was
like
one
Anthony
of them.
Mason, where did he come from? Where did Anthony Mason come from? I mean, he was a free agent when they signed him, I believe.
I think so. And Mason was known for, shaving the Knicks logo into his head?
And I'm sure Tom Sinnickson helped him with some of his decision-making as he went along the route, trying to get as much out of it as he could in terms of, at that point, you're trying to make dollars, you know, Dave, and
Is that a tough team to face also? I mean, Oakley, Ewing,
Yep.
Mason, and the X-Man.
oh, he's a big part of that team. He was very well-liked. Back to the red team's pursuit, and that was Emengo going to work again, and they get the ball out of bounds.
41-35, 5:39 to go.
Want to watch a little more of number 10, Alexis, and see what he can still do. He was an outstanding player, really was. Of course, that knee, you know, it limits, I'm sure, what he can do even today.
A lot of the players on the red team were staying back and watching, so when the alley-oop was broken up, nobody was back. And then Bowling hits another 3. 44-35. And Keough lost the ball on the way up, but it was last touched by a member of the black team. But we were talking about Marcel and Leo before. I didn't realize Marcel, who went to York for 4 seasons, he scored over 1,800 points. York, he's one of the top 10 scorers in the CUNY all time.
He was very good. Very good. And perhaps if he played at a higher level, he'd be playing in the NBA today, at least somewhere, or at least in developmental or somewhere. But I don't know if Marcel went over to Europe. I'm going to have to ask someone over at York when I'm there. I really haven't kept track of him. I know they had a 7-footer over there, Neil Edwards, who did play in the NBA for a short time.
Bowling hits another 3.
He gets off. He's like a streak shooter.
He's really feeling it now. It's 47-37 black team. Santos tries to answer back, can't. Tip, no good. Tipped again by Keough. It's 47-39.
I knew Keough looked familiar to me. He's a tough guy. He's always in there getting the loose balls and things like that. How about that team a couple of years ago that we covered, David? How many outside key shots did they hit in that game down at Borough of Manhattan?
The Carl Benjamin one, which rolled around the basket twice, went off glass and then in.
You have one of your better calls on that one. That was exciting. I was telling somebody, I said that had all the excitement of a major college basketball game.
I still don't believe that game.
The building was alive. It was really great.
I think Hostos the last 2 seasons under Jody, talking about 12-13 and 13-14.
Yeah.
In CUNY games, out of 21 that they played, they won 20. Their only loss was that game down at BMCC.
He's not there anymore, by the way, right?
No, Jody King went to Mercy College. He's out on Dobbs Ferry now,
and
Division
he'll have
II.
his work cut out putting that team on top, but I think he can do it. He's a good recruiter, and he'll probably bring some top players in there.
I believe one of the hostess assistants was promoted to the head job. Realize
Yes.
Kelly now at Bronx Community College is the longest tenured coach in this conference, and he's going into his third year.
The son of Stephen Kelly, who is the athletic director down at Borough Manhattan College,
Yes.
and we've known for more years than Steve wants me to tell you.
How do you like that job security, though? Sean Kelly going into his third year is the veteran of this conference.
I was surprised maybe he didn't end up over at Borough Manhattan with his father doing a little coaching, but I guess maybe they didn't want to go that route. You know, that program can use an uplift. They don't get the players they used to get over there.
They made the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Made the last few years. Because Mike Kerr used to be the coach there.
They pulled off a terrific women's championship a couple of years ago, and then Queensboro took it back. So give us that.
Sinnixon trying to distract the free throw shooter, and he missed. Got the rebound, though.
See, these are the things Carl wants his younger team to do today. You know, go after that ball and don't give up on that. He missed the free throw, just stay on it. This is all Carl and Mengo's strengths. This is what was good about him as a ball player. And
Carl played at Queensboro, now coaching in CUNY. Ben Chobapond played at Queensboro, now coaching at LaGuardia.
he just missed out on that championship at Baruch, as I said, because York beat him in a very tough ball game down at City College. And Ron St. John finally got back a CUNY title that he hadn't won since '96. But Carl and his Baruch team, they were a terrific team that year.
There were a few years in the wilderness for St. John, right? A few years.
Yeah, he was waiting. He had really tough ones. And last year he won again. We had a sensational young player, Michael Woods, and they took it. I saw them down late in the year at York playing Hunter. Frankie Aiken is the top player on Hunter, but he wasn't there that night, and they beat them by, I don't want to do a lot of promotion for York here, but they beat Hunter by about 28 points, 30 points, and I said, I think this team's going to win. I know they're playing Hunter without their top player, but the way they played this game, I see they're a really good team.
Black ball, it's 47-41, 3:50 to go in the first half. The York title they won in '97, and then their next one was '06.
Yeah, it was a while in coming, but they got the player they needed and another player they needed. But one of them was from right here in Queensboro, and it was Jeffrey Boone, and
they had Shane Smith
from BMCC, and that made them top team, beating out Carl's Baruch team. Isn't that something? Just a couple of years later.
Nice pass, Santos to Alexis.
Wow.
47-43, low behind the back pass by Santos.
Isn't it something? A couple of years later, Carl's playing against Jeff Boone for a title, and where they had played in this program.
No basket on that one. And then remember the 07 York team had Teron Simpson hitting that half-court shot.
Right, playing against Teron Simpson, yes.
Teron, who was the assistant coach.
Who actually won the game for them, by the way.
Yeah, buzzer beater.
No, that was the year after.
Well, 06 was the first York title.
05. He was with them in 05 also, and he won the game in 06, yes. But he won the game in 05 coming off the bench, giving big quality minutes. So both of those players were from right here. By the way, he's not participating in this Old Timers event either, right, Teron?
No. Nice move to the basket, 49-43 now. It was Mike Edwards with 3 minutes to go in the first half.
They want him to shoot, and he said, no, I'm not doing it, and gave a great fake Pichardo, and he went to the hoop and got fouled. And he tells me he wants to be a big-time ref now. He's working on it, and I wished him all the best. But he was from that Craig Taylor, Jamal Steele, Gerard Gal era.
That was another good Queensboro player who we've left out. I'm surprised he waited this long. Johan York. Because that free throw was no good.
Yes. And I never forget his name because I remember the peppermint patties. And that's how I always remember his name.
Loose ball last touched by the black team.
Johan York was could get off the floor a little bit, let's say.
But he wasn't a big guy.
No, he wasn't. He could stuff the ball, though.
The 03 team that won the title, I don't know if they had a player over 6'1".
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It was York and it was...
I think later in the year they did get one, but early in the year they had nobody over 6'1" or 6'2".
Tom Sinnixon was the biggest guy on that bench.
Yeah. And my broadcast partner on the championship game was, well, not on the championship, but an early season game, was talking to Coach Sinnixon. He went over and he interviewed him at halftime. He said, it's amazing you don't have any, after the game, after they beat BMCC, you don't have anyone over 6'1" on this team. He said, yep, we got a small squad, and we got a small squad, too. It's not a big squad, you know, in terms of numbers.
Hunt has missed 2 threes in a row. Might be cooling down now. Right back the other way, no good. Pichardo couldn't put it back in and then tips it in.
What it did have, though, it had Teron Simpson and Carl Amengo and Johan York and punch.
Bo got a hand on it. 99 seconds to go in the first half.
There was another guy named Thomas, Dwayne Thomas, that was very big on that team also.
Nice move by Pichardo. It's 49-47. Black lead down to 2.
Pichardo with another veteran move there. He looks good. We were talking about old-time NBA with Pichardo before the game, and he knew everything I was talking about. Ooh.
Layup is good. It's Chris Brown, who was on the 2013 Queensboro team that almost won the CUNY title. 49-49. There's a whistle underneath.
This Michael Edwards, I saw him play a game at York 3 years ago. He almost single-handedly won the game against Medgar Evers. Boy, what a game he had. And I didn't think I'd see him here today. He's a real good athlete, David, Michael Edwards.
And he played how long ago, you would say?
3 years ago there.
You call him a good athlete, and then he airballs the free throw.
He airballed the free throw, yes. I think at one point I was doing the game, and I said, I got to talk to Pete about the way this kid played. I got to send him a message. 54 seconds left, no free throw, but a foul there. Oh, you could see, you know, he still looks like quite a young man, Michael Edwards. You could see he didn't play that long ago.
No, I guess Chris Brown looks like the youngest.
So this would be 0-11, yeah, 0-11, 3 years ago.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is no good.
I believe he left the year before you started doing the ball games there.
My first year was 10-11.
Oh, 10-11.
So I'm
Yeah.
not sure. And traveling is called.
Perhaps Michael Edwards had a year off, though, before he went over to York.
Yeah, maybe 09-10 was his
Yeah.
last year here.
Yeah. Woo!
Nice move by Jarrett Bowe, but he couldn't hit the shot.
Jarrett Bowe, another good athlete.
And Brown is fouled with 32 seconds to go.
That's your bread and butter basketball right there. You know, he missed the double pump, and then they come down and just get that ball up there and go for the two. You know, no finagling on that. As you could see, some size for number 8 also. Long legs. And he is, because I don't have 8, you have 8.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, yes.
One who was on
he's
the-
a good player for that team, yes.
On the Holford team that beat Hostos down at BMCC and then gave Bronx a good title game.
Well, that Bronx team was good, though, weren't
yeah.
they, that night?
They were up by 21 and Queensboro cut it to 5.
Yeah, Queensboro gave them a little run there, but they were good. They were good.
Bowling misses that one. 17 seconds to go. Brown.
Could get the lead here.
Nice pass. It's 52-49 now.
Extend the lead.
Bowe, 5 seconds to go. Bowe, nice pass. Underneath, the layup is good. And at halftime, it's 52-51.
Good basketball. Hey, we saw good basketball down there.
Entertaining half. End-to-end basketball.
It's going to be interesting to see who can win this ball game. No kidding. These guys are playing for real tonight. They're not fancy footing around.
So at halftime, the red team leads the black team 52-51. Second half of the Alumni game about to begin. Red team leading 52-51. Already a second one off the scoreboard.
Who's coaching the red team tonight this afternoon?
Sure, it's Izzy Quills is listed as the coach. Speaking
Okay.
of coaches, the assistant coach for Queensboro, Teron Simpson, is now on the red team roster. He came at halftime. His Dabney Hunt shot is short. Red team still leading 52-51.
Good game. See if it stays this close. See who has gas left in the tank.
And then they need to save enough gas for the next game when they face a current team.
Yeah.
Played by Bowe. Three-pointer is no good. Bowe got it to Boyd, but Anthony Boyd couldn't hit the three.
Probably have to do a lot of substituting in that game.
It's too far underneath and missed. Got it back and put it in off glass. 54-51. It was Keough.
That was Keough again, and that's old veteran play right there. Nice, right, the way they worked the ball there.
It's a foul. Tom Sinnixon likes that. You may notice Tom Sinnixon needed a new shirt. Now with the Queensboro logo, he worked up a sweat in the first half. Just happy to be back on the sidelines.
You know, basically all these guys played for Tom Sinnixon on the court. So he's coaching against one team, but he also coached those fellas.
It was, I think, 96 through 08 he was here, so there were only a handful of guys that didn't play for him on the court. Chris Brown didn't play for him. I don't think Jarrett Bowe did either.
But Bowling did, right?
I believe so. And you think you had Atkinson for about a dozen years, and then you had Billy Atkinson for 1 year, Larry Dantzler for 3, and Bobby Holford for 1.
Nice man.
And 3 players
Larry,
go down.
nice man, Billy Atkinson.
And Larry.
and Larry, both of them. But Billy, of course, passed away several years ago while he was coaching here. Not in a game, but after the season.
Billy was getting ready to be head coach in his second season. He had been an assistant under Tom for a while.
I don't know if he had been sick or ill previously, but he seemed to be holding his own when he was in here, so I think it happened rather suddenly.
And this alumni game has Atkinson's name on it. Wait,
yeah,
now
all these
Billy
kids.
Atkinson.
I told you to Pichardo. He had nothing but glowing things to say about Atkinson. He said it was a great guy. Just looked up to him.
He's not happy with himself for missing the free throw.
Of course, for every great head coach, there's always guys around him that do a fantastic job, too. So Tom didn't do it, and I'm sure he'll tell you he didn't do it all by himself either. And then he was an assistant with Jerry Powell, I believe.
And then Jerry Powell one day said, "Hey, everybody, I'm going to the NBA. The Atlanta Hawks want me to be an assistant coach."
Right.
So the Atlanta Hawks got preference over Queensboro. Guess when Lenny Wilkins calls you and tells you to come.
Oh, well.
You go.
Lenny knew something about basketball, I think.
A guy who was listed as one of the 50 greatest players and the 10 greatest coaches. It's not bad.
I tell you, his teams were the most fun to watch, too, when he coached at Seattle. Boy, did he have great players. Oh, did he have. It's all because he was a great guard himself, but...
Dennis Johnson before he was a Celtic.
And Gus Williams. And Gus Williams was a legend. You don't hear much about Gus Williams today, but boy, could he play.
Jarek Bowe from downtown tying the game at 57.
And then he had downtown Freddie Brown, who could shoot from anywhere. And I mean that, anywhere.
Those finals get lost. Bullets and Sonics played in 78 and 79. You don't hear a lot about those finals.
Dennis Johnson, the late Dennis Johnson, by the way, he was Mr. Lockup on the defensive end. I mean, he could shut down anybody.
That's what turned some of those Lakers-Celtics games around in the 80s when he was put on Magic Johnson.
Had those long arms. Wow.
Nice
He's
shot
come
by
to
Bowling.
play. Yeah, Bowling's come to play tonight.
59-57, black team.
Yeah, exactly right, Dave. In the 1983, I believe, championship, Dennis Johnson just shut down Magic Johnson. He took him out of the game. And
that was tough to do at that time.
Oh.
Jeez. Or any time, really.
And the reporters went to him after the game and said, "Boy, did you do a great job." He said, "Me? I didn't do nothing out there." Very humble guy, too.
Became a coach later on.
Yes. The Knicks. I think that was the greatest Celtic championship of them all, because they weren't supposed to win that one. They really weren't supposed to win that one. The Lakers were so much better, I think, except for Larry Bird. Of course, that makes up for a lot.
I was going to say, that evens things out pretty quickly. Game was tied at 59, and Dabney Hunt puts it in off glass.
Go to work, Dabney.
61-59.
That was, as Bill Raftery always says, the kiss off the glass.
Now 3-on-1. Hunt, nice pass, but they couldn't finish. Boyd missed the layup. Now the red team the other way.
Oh, going for the block there, but he got a little bit of hand. You got to give him credit. He's played a really intense game, has Mezzabrata.
Mezzabrata wasn't just letting Taylor go to the basket.
By the way, getting back to Bill Raftery just for a moment, a former coach also. You know how you say, "Boy, he sounds like such a nice guy. I'd like to meet him." I met him. He is a nice guy, Bill Raftery. Really nice guy. We used to talk about basketball in the press room before the game, and you're so happy when the people you think are nice guys are nice guys, you know?
Coached at Seton Hall for a while, and now probably more known as a broadcaster.
Yeah. He's a good personality, you know.
Him and Vern Lundquist doing the games together.
The guy that really made, let's watch this. Craig Taylor gets the feed. The guy that really made something out of a not so great a coaching career, Dick Vitale.
Yeah. Got fired from the Pistons. He's been at ESPN for about 35 years now.
Yeah. He made a monster career out of it. Gotta hand him the mantle for that. You know, you gotta. Well, it's 62-61, Dave. It's just as close as it was. Neither of these teams want to give up at all.
Each team with 10 points so far in the second half. 15:52 still to play. And then these teams will.
Look at that, Mazzabrata. He has his game face on. He's not let up at all on either end.
He's one of the guys that he's in this game every year.
He's playing very hard if you watch.
Hunt misses.
In very good shape, too, by the way. His legs are still rather lean. He looks like he can get up and down the court still.
I think these guys probably play a lot of pickup games during the year.
Probably. I know I used to. I haven't played, though, in 10 years.
I mean, it's not like these guys sit on their couch all year as the ball gets stuck.
That ball got wedgied between the rim and the backboard, so they give it to the red team. You've had that happen when you've played so many times. No, I haven't touched a basketball for 10 years, but we used to play a lot of pickup ball, and the young guys used to run up and down, and we used to try to shoot from outside a lot.
Stepped over the line. He didn't give it to Sebastian Profet, who was in the corner and asking for it. He just got ignored.
That was a fun part of the basketball experience, too, because every kid, of course, thought he was Michael Jordan, and you had to explain to them that they weren't. Having a know about basketball.
Bo lost it on the way up. Wow. Almost saved it in, but was on the line.
He's hustling.
Oh, yeah.
No, every kid would come out on the court with the oversized shorts or the tongue hanging out, or
including you.
Yeah, not me. My favorite was David. What was his name for St. John's?
Oh,
David Kane was my favorite. I got a great compliment from a kid. We were playing in a tournament that they held in the neighborhood, and I had gotten some minutes in there, and I made some nice passes, and the guy said to me, "Hey, you're playing like David Kane." And I said, "Well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment."
David Kane was on that 93 St. John's team that made the tournament.
He was a great kid, just a great kid. And just, if I might, you're a St. John's guy yourself, so just impart one little nugget about David Kane. He went, scored 30 against Connecticut or 26, and he just ate them up. And then he'd go on the bus and he'd put his head on a pillow and go to sleep. He was like a little kid almost.
And that both free throws are off. Black team trying to take back the lead.
Yep.
Michael Bravo misses a three-pointer. That 93 St. John's team, they almost beat Arkansas.
They almost did. And Mrs. Kane, by the way, would show up on a lot of the trips, and she was a very nice lady.
Tough shot is no good.
No good.
A little sloppy the last minute or so here.
Look at that. Unselfish, right? But they don't make the hoop.
Robert Alexis couldn't finish. Good thing for Queensboro is he did finish when he played here. Non-alumni games as Bravo puts the black team ahead 63-62.
Not only did he finish, but I mean, he could do it all, Alexis. He really could. He was nimble, swift, fast. athletic. He had the whole package, you know. And by the way, just to go back to that last Tom Sinnickson real attempt at winning the championship, because you mentioned he got blown out in that Queensboro one. The one against BMCC, his top player was Alexis. He was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he got beat by Edward Bona and a bunch of riled up BMCC kids.
It's Ishmael Namian.
Yep.
Who was the MVP of the tournament.
And it was Tony Davis's championship, although the veteran Gene Carroll had stayed one more year on the bench as like an assistant coach. Tony Davis is listed as the head coach of that one, and he pulled it off. They were very interested in winning one at BMCC because they hadn't won in a few years.
That was the first title since they beat Queensboro in '99.
Yeah.
In the 55-53 game. There's a three-pointer, no good, and rebounded by Teron Simpson. Chris Brown. Brown had the shot stuffed.
He got rejected.
And Teron puts up the three, no good.
Mr. February.
It's the equivalent of Mr. October in baseball.
Yeah, I always labeled Teron Mr. February. I gave him the label when he was at York, because when it came down to tournament time, you were getting beaten by Teron Simpson in some way. Some way. He won that game. And you remember, as you said, you stated earlier, it was a three-quarter court shot that just took the steam out of the whole Staten Island program and the whole staff and everybody. I was with the athletic director going into the parking lot. He said, I can't believe we lost that game.
And Teron, after hitting the half-court shot at the buzzer, was named the MVP.
I'll tell you how in the bag that game was for Staten Island. I was doing a CUNY talk show the next week on QPTV. We're going to interview the winning coach and have him in the studio. All right, so let's watch this here. So Staten Island had the game in the bag. I was thinking, I was sitting there, I was all the way at the end court. I says, well, I got to call Tony Potosi and get him in there. I got to get Tony. That's what I kept thinking. And then all of a sudden, Staten Island gives up the ball, and then Teron throws up that miracle, and it was unbelievable.
Taylor hit the shot for the black team, 6 points in a row for them at 67-62 now. And they look to extend the 5-point lead. Nice move and a foul. No foul, traveling is called.
Nice move, but he couldn't finish it, Michael Edwards. And it was one of the few times, by the way, when Teron hit that shot, David, that I didn't get a chance to talk to Ron St. John after a game because he was on cloud nine and he didn't have time. He just had too many people around him.
That was Teron misses a three. Would have been nice if he hit, as we were talking about the three-pointer that he hit.
I was still going off about it about 3 years later, 4 years later in the coach's office. Said, you got to see the way that ball went in. It was almost like in slow motion. So the assistant coach said, we have a copy of it. You want to see it again? I enjoyed it.
70-62 with 9 points in a row now for the black team.
Well, the black making a little bit of room here, and let's see.
It's the former Rookie of the Year, Kevin Paradise, who hit.
No look pass by Alexis.
And Teron, another three. No good.
Left-hander, of course. Well, this is getting a little tough now for the Reds.
Bravo, tough angle. Couldn't hit offensive rebound. Paradise off glass. Tom Sinnickson likes it at 72-62. 11 points in a row, and timeout is called by the red team.
Very inspired play by the black team, and the red team needs a timeout.
It's funny, we were talking about York in 06 and 07. The first title team, the 06 one, was not a juggernaut. They only won 15-14, but they peaked at the right time.
Yeah, you can never you never tell when a team's going to hit its stride, but that team did hit its stride down in the end of the year and into the tournament. I remember I was down at City College in a game earlier, about 3/4 of the way through the year, and they gave up the game down there at City, and I was wondering about it and talking to one of the legends there at York, Nate Reeves, about it, who was the assistant coach, and he said, yeah, that's a tough loss for us, but they rebounded, and they won it. And remember, here at Queensboro a couple of years ago, we were watching that Queensboro team play all year, and then all of a sudden they turned it on in the tournament and lights out.
Yeah, they struggled. The previous game they had played at BMCC was against Manhattan in late November, and they turned the ball over 30 times and lost. In their next appearance at BMCC, they end up beating Hostos in overtime as Craig Taylor ends an 11-0 run by the black team, 72-64.
Yeah, that was a much-needed basket provided by Taylor there. See if this is offensive on Edwards. It is. I told you about that terrific game Edwards played at York. That's the kind of play he was making, though. He was beating everybody up court. He was playing a sensational game that night.
It's actually a blocking foul.
Yeah, they're going to have a blocking foul. Yep. Whoa, they weren't ready.
And Bravo hits the shot.
Yeah, they weren't ready.
Well, I think they all had the reaction you did when they called the charge. And Pichardo lays it in.
Well, we're going to give a check to the great coaching of Tom Sinnickson to this point, too.
If there was ever any doubt, as a three-pointer is hit.
He's got to be having fun over there today, He doesn't get a chance to do this. And
two-time Coach of the Year, three-time CUNY champion.
Hey, by the way, Simpson was a good passer, too, and he made a really nifty one right there. In fact, he was a great passer.
77-68 now. Black team looking to push the lead to double digits. Bravo lost a handle on it, saved in. And Sinnickson calls the timeout, 9:58 to go.
Did they register those points on the right side, by the way?
I don't know.
On the board? Because I don't know if it should be a 9-point lead, but I guess it's going to stay. It is 68-77. That's what it is. That was a big pass by Simpson because they got him within 9, and now with 9:58 to go, David, they're going to have to play lights out here.
Yeah,
really.
You would think. That was funny because you would also think it's an alumni game. These guys are just out there to have fun. They looked pretty agitated when they forgot about Bravo when he hit the shot under the basket.
Well, Pichardo looks like he wants to get into it right now on that low post guard, so they're going to play tough defense here.
Or allow a three-pointer.
Of course, they let him have too much room right there, and Anthony Boyd stuck it.
80-68, now the lead is back up to 12. And Bo over pursued. Nice pass underneath. 80-70.
Coach Amengo made that nice pass.
We want to take a quick moment as Bo hits a three. Or, misses a three.
By the way, did everybody get a new pair of sneakers for this game, you think?
I'm not sure. It looks like they all have a different pair of shorts.
Maybe they give it to them to play,
80-72. Wanted to congratulate the Queensboro soccer team. They will be in the CUNY championship game on Monday night as that is turned over with 9:02 to go.
Well, he outplayed his team there a little bit, Dabney Hunt. He made a few too many moves before he let go that pass. There you are, Craig Taylor. Somebody in the crowd said, there he is.
Yeah, nice passing. It's 80-74. And that's 6 points in a row.
Now they got to play a little defense here.
Lead just cut in half from 12 to 6. As Bo lost his footing, lost the ball.
2-0.
Should be 2 more points. Takes it himself. Tia It's 80-76.
And Coach Sinnickson's a little upset right now.
And a foul called with 8:22 to go. Sometimes these alumni games get out of hand and somebody wins by 20. This game has been close.
Yeah, this one's gotten close again. It was a 12-point lead for the black team. Now they try to reestablish what they were doing.
I think that was the biggest lead of the game. And here's Hunt. Floater is good.
He's had a great game, hasn't he?
82-76 now.
And Amengo's had a solid game. Too much on that pass for Kia. Kia's saying, it's my fault. I should have caught it. I think he caught him a little bit by surprise, though.
So Black has the ball up by 6, 8 minutes to go.
This is get in your face time.
And now they're coming out to contest those threes. Bowling's shot is blocked. The three-pointer was sent away, and Amengo at the other end puts it in off glass.
Good play by Craig Taylor. He hasn't been away from this game too long. He said, I'm getting that ball, get it up court.
That's when you know it's serious, when they start to come out to the three-point line to defend and contest shots. And Bowling misses that three.
Oh, Carl. That was all Carl right there with that beautiful play on the pass.
It'll be 2 free throws for Kia.
Carl Amengo was some competitor. He really was in his playing days. I think that I'd put that at the top of the list of what his strengths were. He was a great competitor, you know, Dave?
He was on the last Queensboro title team in 03 that beat Hostos and Robert Holford, who almost put off the upset. They were leading Queensboro at halftime, I believe.
Yes.
They were right there, but Queensboro was too much for them. That was Hostos' first year of the program.
No, they were too much for them. Queensboro was too much that year. They really played well.
And as we said, that's a lot to say for a team that had nobody over 6'1", because usually you think a team wears you down, it's a big team.
At the end of the year, I think they had Dwayne Thomas was about 6'3", 6'4". So they did get one guy in there with a little height, but Hostos was very good, but they were a little inexperienced in championship matches too. So
and Keogh has just tied the game with 7 minutes to go at 82.
They just tied the game.
A 14-2 run.
Oh, they're playing tough defense, Dave.
Now they can take the lead.
He's got to look for help here. He's played a good game, Keogh.
Yeah. Pichardo. Back to Keogh. Pichardo. Red team can't take the lead. Taylor puts it in.
You know what that was? That was 2-man, then 3-man old school right there, the way those guys look. The pass came at about 1 mile an hour. Then the other shot was off, and then he made a big rebound. So there was nothing on any of those plays, but they made it work. And that's why you have to give the old guys their due.
So with 6:29 to go, red team leads 84-82.
Older guys, anyway. There's nobody old out here.
Black team trying to tie or take the lead.
Pichardo was 30 years old, by the way, he told me. That's not old in terms of life.
No. Depends how old you are, I guess.
So I guess Taylor's about 31, 32. Maybe a little older. Michael Edwards, we didn't get it to go.
3-on-2 now. And Taylor was too close. He was right under the basket, didn't have an angle to put it in. And a blocking foul is called, 5:47 to go.
Oh, by the way, that was Amory Taylor who made that move up court. I thought it was Michael Edwards, number 11. But he and Michael Edwards, they don't hold back for anything. When they get that break up court, they're going to go for the basket.
Here's Bravo going for the basket, and he's fouled.
Bravo. Coach Sinnixon wanted the foul call on that. He wants 2.
And he'll get 2.
Just don't want to pick up a technical here.
First one is good, 84-83.
So when they went out and they played BMCC that night, I was doing the on-the-court reporting, and I said to Tom, before the game, what do you want to do in this game? He said, win. I just want to win this game. This is a big game for him. But you know, you can't win them all, Dave. No matter how great you are, you can't win them all. And it was a terrific game. What was the score? It was about a 6-point game, I think.
Which one?
The Manhattan game. Might have come right down to the wire, in fact. I'll look it up. You do the game, I'll look it up.
5.5 to go. The three-pointer. No good, but Amengo was fouled. Fouled in the act of shooting.
All right, it was a close game for most of the game, but then it was an 86-75 final. I think Manhattan, now that I remember, took a little bit of liberty at the end and put a few points on the board.
Could be misleading like the Queensboro Bronx game we did, which was 83-68, but that was because Queensboro was fouling in the last minute.
There's a certain point when you know you got the game and then you score a few more points, and I think that's what happened.
Mango hit the first. Misses the second. Pichardo was very eager. He didn't realize Mango gets a third free throw.
And Ishmael Namian, as you said, was the most valuable player in that game. And the Borough of Manhattan, you know, we don't want to sell them short. They had a lot of good players in that program, too, over the years.
Mango hits 2 of 3. It's 86-83. 5:20 to go. And here's a 3 for the tie. And it goes in off glass. Anwar bowling. The bank is open. It's 86-86.
He put that one in the bank. On the bank.
A Mango to Simpson, back to a Mango. And Craig Taylor misses the 3.
There's Edwards. There he goes.
Nice move by Edwards. Well, handoff, shot off glass was no good by McDaniel. James McDaniel had a good look at it. 4:45 to go.
There's that kid that's played on Queensboro the last couple of years. We've remarked how fast he is getting up court. I can't think of his name. We'll see him probably in the second game. Or he's not here, I don't think. I think he graduated. Who's the player I'm talking about? Maybe you can come up with his name real quick. Little guy, real fast. We're always remarking at how fast he is getting up and down the court. And that's who Michael Edwards plays like, by the way. I was going to say, those might be two of the fastest players Queensboro's had getting up and down the court.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Was it Washington you were thinking
of? No,
he
was good at it. He was very good at it.
And there's a three-pointer. Amory Taylor makes it 89-86.
You know what? We got the guide from last year, so we'll probably find his name in here.
Teron Simpson to a Mango. Simpson, red team looking for a 3 to tie. They go inside, back out. Simpson for 3, and it's no good. And here's Edwards again, 3-on-2. Edwards, and a charge is called. With 3:47 to go.
3-point game. Yeah, my book is from 2:13, so he's not going to be in here. I think he might be in the game today, though. Last year might have been his first year. It probably was his first year.
Still trying to come up with the name for that. What could it be?
We'll get it.
There's a Mango. Black team in the 2-3 zone. Chris Brown for the tie. It's good. 89-89. 3:35 to go.
Oh, the nerves get a little jittery now, David.
I don't know if one of these alumni games have ever gone to overtime. I think this is the 14th year or so they've been doing this.
They marked them all down in the book, though.
There's another three by Bowling. That one is no good. Edwards came in and put it in off glass. 91-89 black team. Keogh coming back the other way, and he's fouled with 3:02 to go.
This is a good game. It really, it's a better game than I thought it was going to be. I got to be honest with you.
You never know what you're going to get with one of these.
Never know. It's good to see the guys first. You know, you see a lot of guys that you used to follow, and then you marvel at how much older they've gotten, or how much more mature they are. Let's put it that way. And it's great.
91-90. Black team still ahead. 3 minutes left.
Like I didn't immediately know that was Alexis down there.
93-90. Nice moves by Edwards.
And Edwards has gotten to work. And until I went back a little bit, I was watching the game for a little bit. Then I say, hey, Michael Edwards, I was doing his game 3 years ago in the senior college ranks, and I didn't even realize it.
And Alexis couldn't corral that one, and the black team has it back. Under 2:40 to play.
And the game he had, I was talking about, he's playing with some pretty good players over there at York, and he stood out on the court that day. It's the afternoon game.
Here's Jarek Bowe being guarded by Simpson. Foot was on the line. The long two was no good. Rebounded by Mango. And then a foul is called. Didn't want to commit that foul with 2:16 remaining.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, it was playing with one of the tournament MVPs of the past from Queensboro, William Holly, on that team, on that York team. Kingsboro, they have had a lot of good basketball players over the years, Kingsboro and Queensboro.
No friendly roll on the first one.
No. Carl thought he knew this rim pretty well because he's been here for the last year working on it. He was also, Carl Domingo, by the way, an assistant coach down at Baruch before he came here. He worked with the great Ray Rankus over there.
Carl misses them both. Still 93-90.
When I say Ray's name, I always call him great, and I mean that in many ways. Just a great guy. Great guy for the whole CUNY system. One of the best.
2 minutes left. Here's Edwards. And a three-pointer is short. It was Taylor who took it and missed. Now Santos for the red team. Santos back outside. Amengo. Bounce pass was broken up. He got it back. He's on the floor. He calls timeout with 1:39 remaining.
Now when he gives his little sermon on the bench about hustling, he'll have something to point to if some of his players are down here watching right now. Right?
Always a teachable moment.
He'll say to the kid, come on, you got to go after the ball. But what about you, coach? You saw me in the game. You saw me. Right? Nothing like practicing what you preach.
No. The red team will have the ball. Down by 3, 99 seconds to go.
Remember they had the Red Army team in hockey? came on those tours here to some of the greatest hockey you ever saw.
Except when they went to Philadelphia and they got some hospitality courtesy of the Flyers and the Broad Street Bullies.
Oh, that was tough, yes.
Soviets actually left the ice during that game.
Yeah, they played a little less than hockey sometimes.
It was more boxing than hockey.
A little more than hockey, I should say.
Here's Santos. Decided not to take the three.
Of course, I don't know if they tapped the Plager brothers who once went in the stands to hit fans.
Santos
Whoa!
banks in at three. It's 93-93.
Beautiful.
80 seconds to go.
I think he had his eyes closed on that one. Let's see what Edwards can do here. He's sizing it up.
Tie game. 67 seconds to go. Edwards inside. Fake, and he's fouled with 1:04 to go.
He started, he stopped, and then he hesitated and drew the foul call. He's a real good athlete. He really is. A sturdy fella. Yeah, he's got to shoot the free throws. Remember, he shot the air ball earlier, and somebody mentioned it again. He feels terrible about that. The Reds give him a little pat on the backside, trying to pick him up a little bit. See, these guys like each other,
Misses them both. Still tied. 1 minute to play. Here's a Mengo. The pass was almost stolen. And last touch by the red team.
Enough interference to make him miss that ball.
Deshaun Banks touched it last, and the black team will have it. 56 seconds to play.
Good hustle by James McDaniel.
Now, if this game if they're still tied, does this go to overtime or do they finish in a tie? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know the rules in that pertaining to that
they
situation.
May have to make it up on the fly.
By the way, James McDaniel was a good player too.
Long two is no good. Loose ball. They don't have any timeouts, so they can't call it. So jump ball. Trying to figure out who to give the ball to.
Once again, though, McDaniel was involved on that play. Kept it alive for the black team, and I think it's going to be the black team's ball.
The player on the black team was trying to call timeout, but they didn't have any.
They're going to get the ball, though.
So a tie-up, and the alternating possession arrow gives it to the black team.
Athletic director Pete Marchitello with his hands out exclaiming, come on, we got to get a ruling on that.
43 seconds to go now. Still tied at 93.
Well, they can take it down here, and they're going to, obviously. The shot clock.
James McDaniel with the ball. Nice pass. Bowling. Air ball. Edwards saves it in. Taylor touched it last. 24 seconds to go, but only 3 on the shot clock.
The ball never hit the rim, so they don't reset the shot clock, and it never changed possession.
Just 3 on the shot clock.
Got to get that ball inside real quick here.
And get it in. Underneath, it was stripped. Loose ball and a shot clock violation.
And Robert Alexis bumping people there, showing that I still have my competitiveness.
Red ball tied at 93, 20 and 8/10 seconds left in the Alumni game.
What an Alumni game this has been. This is a terrific game.
I don't know if there's ever been a buzzer beater in the Alumni game. And the red team calls a timeout with 14 and 4/10 seconds remaining.
Well, they have Taylor out there, and Mengo's out there, and they have Powell, Santos. And who do you think is going to take the last shot here?
No. It would be fitting if it was Tehran after we spoke about his buzzer beater.
It would be.
Game.
Is he out there? Did they have
We'll
him
see
out
who's
there?
out there after the
I got
timeout.
a feeling they're going to go for Taylor inside, but let's see what they do here.
Nice to have those kind of options.
Right now you feel like doing some weights or doing some push-ups or
The Rocky theme playing.
all right. Inbound will come from the far side, and I think they're going to try to get inside to Taylor, but let's see what they do.
Teron Simpson isn't on the floor, so he will not be hitting the buzzer beater.
Oh, I'm surprised. Mr. February, I guess it's not his time yet.
It's not February.
Right.
Here's Santos. We're down to 10 seconds. Amengo, 6 seconds. 5. Amengo kick out. Down to 2. They have to put it up. The shot is no good. Tipped and scored! A buzzer beater. Red team wins. Robert Alexis.
Robert Alexis, yes. Isn't that wonderful that he made that?
95-93. The former CUNY Player of the Year with the buzzer beater.
Terrific player of the past and a terrific finish for Robert Alexis. And we love him, and we love all these guys. They really gave it an effort out there and gave us a great game today on Alumni
tremendous.
Day.
And all the players thanking Robert Alexis for sparing us from overtime in the Alumni game. This is a wild ending.
Of course, that doesn't make up for that loss to Manhattan, but today is all we have, David, and he enjoyed today.
95-93, coming back from a 12-point second-half deficit. And the shot was no good, and Robert Alexis was right there to tip in at the buzzer. 95-93.
And he breaks Tom Sinnickson's heart. I mean, he goes up against his former coach, and he nails it in the end.
Sinnickson will look for the split. He'll try to beat the new guys and try to salvage something.
Well, he'll have all of his guys then, and he'll be going. I think he'll be going for the win in that one. The only guy he won't have is Amengo, because Amengo's going to be, and Simpson won't be with him on that one either, I don't think.
So that was a fun Alumni game. We'll get ready for Game 2 of the doubleheader. David Russell and Joe Massey. The red team beats the black team 95-93.
By the way, did you play at St. John's, David?
I didn't.
No.
That was a different David Russell.
Oh, okay.